Hey, this is Irvin. Hey, good morning, folks. Down here in the Carolinas, getting ready for later on today when I go to my dad's, I almost called it inauguration, dad's retirement dinner. And just wanted to make a quick Facebook Live video about two things. First is the situation with R&B hip-hop singer Chrisette Michele. Now, yes, I have my own personal beliefs as a man and as a black man, but I also try to look at it logistically from business. Chrisette Michele has been around the scene for about 12 years. 12 years that I know of. And in that time, she's actually made a pretty good living. I think Ticket TV and a couple of it, Town Biz and 93 Sports. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. If I am, I apologize. But I listened to a video of theirs where she said she made a pretty good living just on the urban circuit, meaning going to areas, like Atlanta, Chicago, places like that where there was a strong African American presence. And that was really most of her fan base. I'm not saying, she didn't have white fans or Asian fans or anything, but much of her fan base was African American. And regardless of what she says about wanting to be the bridge and everything, I don't buy that at all. She did this for a check and to get publicity, because while a lot of African Americans know who she is and diehard fans know who she is, most mainstream people, white people, didn't know who. In fact, I even mentioned, the situation at work, and a couple of white women, I won't say their names because I don't want to put them out there like that, but she would say, I don't know who this is. So during the break, during one of the morning shows that was doing, I played Like a Dream by Chrisette Michele for her. That was off of YouTube, and she was very impressed. She was like, wow. She said, I can't believe I've never heard of this woman. I was like, yeah, she's been around for quite a while. Now, at first, I was kind of neutral because I felt like, yeah, I don't like that she's singing at Donald Trump's inauguration. Especially with all the things that Trump, not only during his run to the presidency, but just over the years about people of color, black people, Hispanic people and stuff. Why anybody would perform for this guy is beyond me. And I said, the only thing I can figure is that she's doing it for a check and for notoriety, because, like I said, she's been around for 12 years. And outside of her core audience, not many people know who she was. So, and from what it went, the range, it's been officially confirmed she got paid $250,000, basically $250,000 to perform at this thing. Which, by the way, I would say, if you just happen to, which I doubt she will, but if you just happen to run across this video, please make sure that check clears, or that you ask for the money up front. Please, I hope you ask for it up front. But and by the way, hello to my cousin Walter Butler, and hello to my namesake kinfolk Audrey Griffin Holloway, and Mr. Preston, hello, how you doing? But what kind of bothered me is when she said she wanted to be that bridge and was quoting Martin Luther King, which something about that bugs me when people do that. I don't care who they are. They quote Martin Luther King, especially to black folks, which I find it somewhat offensive, because I'm like, most of y'all, all y'all know is that I have a dream, Martin Luther King. I wish people would study his whole history and realize that's not all what he was. No, he was a great man, no question, but that's not all what he was. And that's all. I don't want to go into a rant on that. But getting back to Chrisette and Michele, many people were not happy with her. Hey Sonya, how you doing? Hope things are going good you in the Midwest. And yeah, I agree. She was no bridge. No. She went there, like I said earlier, she went there for a check and to get some publicity, which I don't fault her for doing. I don't fault her for doing that. I mean, but don't sit up and lie and talk about you trying to be a bridge. No. You wasn't trying to be no bridge. Get out of here. I would actually have more respect for her if she'd just said, hey, they're paying me to be here. I'm here. I mean, and she's a very talented singer. I mean, status-wise, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but keep it real. But status-wise, she's about C-list at best. Now, talent-wise, she probably had more talent than most of the people that did come to perform for Donald Trump. To tell you the truth, she probably had more talent than a lot of them that came to perform for Donald Trump. But status-wise, she was C-list. And trust and believe, if they could have gotten a Beyonce, for example, or Rihanna, or some of these A or even B-list performers to perform there, trust and believe, Chrisette Michele would have been nowhere near Washington. She got picked because she was a last resort. And that's not a put down really on her. That's just the truth. Because I guarantee you, Donald Trump had never heard of this girl. Donald Trump had never heard of this girl before that. I guarantee you. He had never heard of this woman before that. Now, here's where it may cost her. Spike Lee, who is very known for being very militant, to the point where even I have to look at him sometimes and be like, dude, really? Really? But he was going to use a hit song that was mostly supported. Hey, Laurel, how you doing? Mostly supported by black people, called Black Girl Magic. He was going to use it in his remake for Netflix of his classic film She's Gotta Have It. Now he says he's pulling that song from his movie. Now people might say, well, that ain't gonna hurt her in the long run. But this is where I disagree. It might, because you gotta think, Netflix is one of the biggest subscription movie services in the world. In fact, there's some people that don't even have cable anymore. They just strictly watch Netflix and Hulu and all those subscription things that gets all those televisions and original programming, or even the shows that the networks got rid of, but they picked up. Like, example, Hulu. What was that song? What was that show? The Mindy Project? With that Indian comedian, that Hindu comedian, Mindy Kaling. That got put off of Fox after about 2 or 3 seasons, but it's surviving just fine on Hulu because it still had a strong fan base. Netflix, look at all the stuff like Orange is the New Black, The House of Cards, all those other original programs they're doing. Look at, and this is biased for me because I grew up a Marvel Comics fan, look at the success of Daredevil. Look at the success of Jessica Jones. And since I'm mentioning black stuff, look at the success of Luke Cage. That show was so in demand, it actually crashed their server when it first came out. So you gotta think, if that movie, that remake goes on there and is successful, Chrisette Michele may have just screwed herself out of a lot of royalty money. especially if that movie is kept on running on Netflix long term. Plus, there's a lot of African American producers like Jay-Z and stuff, people that she has worked with in the past. You know, on hook. In fact, one of her earliest hits was singing the hook on one of Jay-Z's songs. I mean, if any of y'all know, please tell me down in the comment section or something. Yeah, Laurel, we did talk about that last night in a private conversation. Anyone who shows any affiliation with Donald Trump, and we weren't just talking about black people either, even some whites that actually support Donald Trump didn't want to perform. I've heard rumors that country singers like Charlie Daniels, who you might remember most famous for the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," which I'm not a country music person, but I actually like that song. I tried to find the original uncensored one, because the line "I told you once, you son of a gun" just doesn't sound. I mean, I understand why he changed it, because he was a Christian and everything, but the original one where it says "I told you once, you son of a certain B word," I think if you call the devil that, I don't think too many people are going to condemn you for that. But yeah, Chrisette Michele may have just cost herself a lot of money, because it wasn't like she was broke. She was actually doing very well in the urban circuit. Going back to what I was getting into with Ticket TV and his friends and his group, they reported that she has rumoredly made, hello Mr. Sims, how you doing? That she reportedly made around $600,000 a year just on the urban circuit. So she was not broke. She wasn't making Rihanna money. She wasn't making Beyonce money, but she was far from broke. I'm sure many of you that are listening to this on Facebook, or that will see this on YouTube, and many of you around the world, regardless of where you at, regardless of your race, creed, or color, you would love to be making $600,000 a year. Like I said, she wasn't making that Beyonce money, that's another reason I think she did the Trump thing. She wants that big money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But all I gotta say is, baby girl, you better hope that gamble pays off, because if she loses her core base but gains the mainstream and bigger money, then at least from a business standpoint, it will be a payoff. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Mr. Sims. We have to value principles over coins. I see what you're saying. At the same time, though, unfortunately, you still have to make money. So I get why she did that, but it may come back to bite her in the butt. And then plus some of these other ones that were invited to perform that didn't perform, they've already got their name. And I can understand more so her doing this than, let's say, Ray Lewis, who's already established, Jim Brown, who was well established, and he was a big disappointment to me. Steve Harvey, who we've been known his buck dancing ways, so that one wasn't really a surprise. Kanye West, crazy or not, he's already established. And I find it ironic, this is the same guy that once said George Bush don't care about black people, but he takes a photo op with Donald Trump, who in some ways is far worse than George W. Bush, in my opinion, personal opinion. Now, switching from Chrisette Michele to Sheriff David Clarke. Oh my God. Yeah, he's one of those guys that people in the black community would call back in the day an Oreo. He's black on the outside, but inside he basically got the thinking of a racist white man. And the And the story I'm about to tell you, this wasn't even a black guy he did this to. This was a white guy. I forgot where it was, but it's been reported recently. Sheriff David Clarke actually had a dude escorted off of his flight, all because he looked threatening at him. Now, here's the story. Sheriff David Clarke was on this flight, and this white guy recognized him. I think his name was Mark Black or something to that effect. He was like, "Hey, you Sheriff David Clarke?" He was like, "Yes." And then he looked at him and just shook his head and walked on. And then Sheriff David Clarke reportedly said to him something to the effect of, "Is there a problem?" And the white guy looked at him again, like just shook his head, went to his seat. You know, no violence, no contact or nothing. Next thing you know, police come on the plane with police dogs at the behest of Sheriff David Clarke and actually escort the dude, arrest the guy, this white guy, and escort him off the plane. Yeah, all because he did this. He didn't like give him the up yours. He didn't give him the bird. He didn't like grab his Johnson at him or nothing like that. That he just did this. That's all he did. Sheriff, this guy's dangerous. And this guy to be, he's still trying to lobby for a position in Trump's cabinet, which, as much junk as I said about Donald Trump, I don't even think Donald Trump's that stupid. This guy is too big. He would end up getting even bigger. In fact, right now, he's being looked at for lawsuits over several people that has died at his jail, mostly black, one of which including a child that only lived like maybe a few hours. All because he and his guards would not give this female inmate proper medical treatment for the unborn child. So, like I said, I don't like Donald Trump, but I don't even think he's that stupid to hire this guy for anything. I wouldn't hire this dude to take out my trash, let alone some high-ranking cabinet. I mean, because you see what he's doing right now. And he did this to this wasn't a brother. This was a white dude he did this to. This guy's dangerous. And this is one guy, and this is an empty bottle, but see this Coca-Cola right here? I'm gonna buy one of these the day he gets his so-called N-word moment. I'm gonna buy one of them. Maybe go buy either some E&J or some bourbon or something. Mix them together in a small cup like this with some ice and just drink to my heart's content the day he gets his N-word moment. Because it's gonna come, man. You can't have somebody running amok like that, and they're gonna pay in some way. I mean, police, period. If they're abusing their power like that, even if it's not through legal means, some way they're gonna pay. Either something's gonna happen to them or somebody they care about, or they're gonna try that stuff on the wrong one that ain't gonna care that they the police, and give them the award that they want to bestow. Or as my mom used to say, crown you king of glory. So really, that's all I got to say on this. The Sheriff David Clarke thing, that didn't take long at all. But the Chrisette Michele thing, all I gotta say is, baby girl, be speaking for myself, I'm a benefit, and I still enjoy your singing. But this is bad look, baby girl. You better hope it pay off. Anyway, hope y'all have a nice day.